Now that's cool. Okay, so we're now recording. If there's any seats left, it should automatically find your seat. But gosh, there you go. I am recording now. Really great to see everybody. It's just craziness, as is everything on OpenSim at the moment. So, welcome to our Wolf Territories Grid community meeting. It's been a lot of hard work the last month, and we have made some incredible progress, and so I'm going to go through some of those things right now. Okay, starting with, of course, my favourite slide: boring technical stuff. And of course, this dodgy computer. Aha, boring technical stuff. Right, so I don't know if I'll be talking a bit about assets a bit later on. So we've got our own object storage server now within our own cluster. We've also got two other object storage servers that we're using, and that's been really useful. So we actually store our assets in two different places at once. And I'm just going to get the slides up. Hang on, because I've got this laptop. It's very, very modern, but it's a bit ropey. It's a 2024 laptop. You wouldn't believe it, right? So let me just zoom my camera out. So professional. Okay, I'm just going to get the slides up. Ropey, yeah. So I'll explain why. It's a 2024 Asus Core Duo computer, and it's got dual screens, and it's really cool for programming, but it's not so good with OpenSim or Second Life or anything like that. Not that I go in Second Life ever. Right, so okay, so let me just quickly get to the seconds. Okay, I know what I'm doing now. Right, so boring technical stuff. Grid growth. It's been crazy. We've probably taken about 150. Well, the thing was, Luna, it's supposed to come with an AMD graphics card, and it came with some Intel something or other graphics card, which is really terrible. So now I'm struggling, but I'm probably going to talk to the leasing company tomorrow about switching it for something else. Anyway, back to the slides. Grid growth. I think we've brought in over 150 new regions in the last month. That includes, in some places we've brought in I think, Chad, we brought in about 85 regions, and we've developed some software that allows us to transfer regions in, including loading their OR files all in one go, which has been good fun. New users, we've had about 3,500 new users in the last month. You can see all these stats on the website at wolf-grid.com. So there's a new thing where you can view the daily signups, which is always quite entertaining. Other things we've got, so we had a very interesting issue where some of our users who had... So obviously the grid's been under a lot more load than it normally is. And that has meant that that obviously it's been under more strain. So we've had to tune things quite a lot. And that has meant that we had an issue where some users who had very big inventories suddenly couldn't log in, and it would get stuck. And you may have noticed in the last weeks that suddenly when you log in, instead of it kind of starting and then stopping, sitting there for a while and then logging you in, it just flies across. So what we discovered was that the default setup for indexes on the OpenSim databases in the robust database, unfortunately there's some indexes missing. That meant it would, when you logged in, it would load stuff and it would take ages to do it, and eventually what would happen is it would time out, and then your poor user couldn't get in. And we had one Peter, I think, who has 250,000 items in his inventory, and it all worked fine until we loaded his inventory, and then he couldn't log in, which gave us some indication of what was going on. And I actually went into the OpenSim source code to find out what was going on. And what was happening was, when it starts up, it loads lots and lots of stuff out of the databases for your user when you log in. So we basically went in and really tuned the databases, and that's why you found that everything sped up, because we're able to deal with a lot of missing indexes and things like that. We also had some issues with a load balancer for robust. We would like to have 5 or 6 load balancers going into our robust servers, but we can't because if you hypergrid, when you come back again, it has to have the same IP it had when you left. And if we have multiple load balancers, they'd have different addresses, which means that everything gets horribly confused. Okay, next slide. Some thank yous are in order. Hi Sharon. So thank yous to grid admins. I am especially. I've been told to take time off because the last couple of months it has been bananas and I've hardly slept. Our wonderful peacekeepers, especially those who I don't want to. It's one of these things where I want to list people's names, but I don't want to miss anyone, so I'm not going to list people's names. You know who you are, the folks that sit there at welcome all the time, just helping people coming in. It's just so brilliant of you. Thank you so much. It's so appreciated because it takes the load off of me, and I'm also rubbish with avatars as well. So, peacekeepers, you're doing an amazing job, and an awesome thank you to Jimmy Olsen for the build of Welcome, and the other stuff you've been building has just been incredible, and it's been such a blessing to the grid. People come to our Welcome and they cannot believe how fantastic it is, and loads of people have been taking offices, and we've got shops. There's a new gadget shop, there's different shops there. Podex set up a bank, which was brilliant, and so there's loads of things going on there. So yeah, thank you very much. You are all really appreciated with what you're doing in world. So talking of peacekeepers, so we what is a peacekeeper? So peacekeeper sounds like kind of Wild West thing, and you've got like guns, and I don't know what he's pointing at. Lone, what are you pointing at? Okay, I don't know why he's pointing like that, but he's put his hand out. I'm just going to leave him pointing. So yeah, so peacekeepers. We added 3 new peacekeepers this month. So a peacekeeper is basically somebody who looks after people who are coming in, asks questions, helps people find stuff, helps talk about the grid and what it does. And it's been really amazing just how effective peacekeepers have been. When we first start, I don't know why my arm is out. This is hilarious. Okay, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go on with it. So, fantastic. It's so basically, peacekeepers are there to keep the peace. Sometimes they have to deal with basic security issues, but 99% of the time we don't get any issues. I'm going to ask you if you could wear your, if you're at Welcome being a peacekeeper, please wear your peacekeeper tag so that everyone knows you're a peacekeeper. Sometimes people appear undressed at Welcome, and that can happen because if they've come from another grid, for instance, things don't res properly. Sometimes things don't turn up, so we've got to be a bit careful. And we haven't really had any procedures, so people have just kind of done what they wanted. The procedure is just wait and let to see if they appear, and then quietly IM them and say, listen, you do need to put some clothes on, love. Right, okay. And it is a G-rated, Welcome is a G-rated area, so we've got to be conscious of the things. Everyone's done it. I've done it. I've turned out with my head missing. Everyone, so yeah. Where did we get to? That's so good. Welcome to G-rated area. Okay. Last thing is we are being watched. All right. We've noticed certain people arriving, which I'll talk about a bit later, but arriving quite regularly to check us out and see what we're doing. And you know, there's also a lot of quite unsavoury jealousy going on out there, and I'm just not interested in that. We want to get on and build our grid, and you know, but be aware that people are watching us with interest, and actually we're glad to help and share stuff or whatever. There's the pub incidents. Right, renting land. Some of you become landowners. Woo! So there's 2 options here really. So residents on this grid can rent their land out to other residents, and that's kind of good, except that one of the issues is that if that resident leaves and cancels their regions, your stuff's gone. Okay, and we have had situations where Christy, I don't really want to name names or anything like that. I should, but no, I'm not going to. Yeah, we'll just be, be nice about it. And right, where was I? Okay, so renting from residents. Sorry, I said I was going to type, but I've not been typing. So if a resident leaves, your stuff goes. Okay, so we've had situations where someone on Monday was on a region and they rented some land off of somebody, free or paid, whatever, and the person cancelled their region without notice, and then this poor guy or girl has come to me and gone, "Loan, my stuff's gone." And so just be aware that can happen. We normally try and bring the region back up so that they can get their stuff if that does happen, but it's just about looking after people. It's ideal if you only want a small parcel or home that or for people where sometimes it's nice to be in a little community, and there's quite a few new communities on the grid, so you might want to rent that way. If you rent from the grid, you get your whole region to yourself. You get your region control panel. There's loads of other tools you get, and that suits people that want their own region. Obviously, you can upgrade and move around or downgrade as you want to. And if you rent your own region, you get a free office, shop and place at Welcome, which has been really popular. So that means you've got like a central place that can have links out to your region. Okay. Next slide. Land. Just want to point out, you can actually advertise your rentals on the website. You do that through the control panel. And if you go to https://estates.wolf-grid.com, you can see all the available land that's available from residents. Obviously, if you want to buy land from the grid, you just go through the main website. So I'll put that in here. There you go. If you want to buy a lot of regions, he's put his hand down now. Fair enough. If you want to buy a lot of regions, or you're moving a lot of regions from another grid, or even a small amount of regions, please get in touch with me and we'll talk about how to do it, what's the easiest way of doing it. And we'll help you with any loading your ores and IARs onto this grid. Just a little pointer here is that some of the ores and IARs we've had are quite damaged, and we've got tools we can use to try and fix the assets that come from those IARs and ores, to try and, as best we can, get your stuff back. But there is a lot of damaged assets going out at the moment. The gaming system, I'm sorry to say I've done absolutely no work on it because I didn't realise this was going to happen. I'm really behind with it. I will catch up this month now things have settled down a little bit. So I am aware of that. I do apologise for that. Loading IARs and ores, actually this is what I just said, but with IARs we load them on the grid because they're quite time consuming, and we can have some strange results. So one of the things we found is that sometimes we load an IAR and they get duplicate items in their inventory. We're working on tech to clear duplicate items out of a user's inventory if they want to. It won't just be applied, but it's difficult, and it's difficult because identifying duplicate items and knowing that they really are duplicates is a problem. So we'll get to the bottom of that eventually. Okay. Viewers. So there are issues with certain viewers, and Second Life banned, I think it was 6.6.17, and then there was a newer one that came out for Firestorm that caused some issues, and we've said basically, but 6.6.14 Firestorm or the latest Firestorm. Core VL Viewer seems fantastic. Singularity is very good, and so we're trying to avoid 6.6.17 and the 7 series viewers before the latest one. So you can get the viewers from the website at wolf-grid.com. If you go get a viewer, there's some options there. We are fixing what was broken, but obviously you can imagine a grid this size. it could take days and days and days and days to fix it. Okay. Next one. Xenon, time for your go.
And bam, just like that. Oh, sorry, I'm, I'm, I'm struggling. Jimmy. Okay. I don't have any great things to report. I'll tell you why. I was consumed with getting an exhibit up for the Open Sim World's Fair, and today I am fixing up the exhibit region downstairs over at the Wolf Tech building across from here with veg, and I'm from Texas, so if that doesn't sound like vegetables, I please forgive me. Um, but that is Virtual Education Journal, and I was hoping that maybe Roxy would be here, but she's not here. Roxy and BJ are the owners of that, and they are amazing humans. Um, and that so VEG is Virtual Education Journal. They've been at it for a long time. They have been heavily involved with education in the other place, and now they're over here. And it was so great because they actually came here because of what do you call it? Open Sim World's Fair. And when they came over and saw what was possible over here, they were like, okay, we're in. And super folks, real life educators, both have PhDs, just brilliant people. I am hopeful that now that they're here, I'm going to have some help in getting some things planned and some coverage. So uh, keep your eyes and ears open. I'm also involved with Virtual World Education Consortium. I'm the ambassador for Wolf Territories. We have, that's a good reason to come here is because of Jimmy and Chad. Uh, we are totally revamping the group for Virtual World Education Consortium. We have changed the way we're doing our quarterly meetings. We're going to have education sessions for each one of them and some kind of monthly event. And then what I want to do is start looking at having quarterly classes to begin with for Wolf Tech as well. So we'll keep you posted on that. I want to say something else too, Lone, while I'm up here. Let's start planning. I'd really like to start planning for Wolf Fest this summer. I mean, if we're doing that, we really need to start um, getting on that now. And I want to head up an education division. I really want us to try the mini conference again this year and actually taking people around to some of the really cool meeting spaces we've made. And then that is all I've got. I would love to form a committee on doing the education piece and helping with marketing. Okay, Lone, was there anything that you knew I was supposed to talk about that I forgot?
No. That was
Okay,
unusually
perfect.
short.
Well, I don't have a lot of things about today. I know that's painfully, you were like, how can that be? But there it is.
Yeah, so if you're doing educational stuff, please talk to Xenon. Um, Wolffest we will be doing later in the year. We normally do it a bit earlier, but it's just been crazy. So we're going to do it properly later in the year. Wolffest last year was an incredible success, so we'll be doing that. Yeah, thank you, Xenon.
Oh, can I say two more things while I'm up here?
Yes, you can, but I did just click on the
Okay.
next slide. Okay.
Okay. Well, one thing is, oh, what was I going to say? Oh, I want to say something about peacekeepers, and because I know as we grow and more people want to do it, and I think because Lone runs such a great grid here, he doesn't understand some of the baggage people may come with. Peacekeepers here are not staff. They're not called staff. They're not treated like staff. This is a volunteer position, and it is truly a labor of love.
Oh
Okay?
yeah.
So you will not be penalized for being a peacekeeper ever. You will not be controlled. Um, if you need help with some coaching on, you know, and please don't take this the wrong way, but a lot of people are coming here and they're at a loss sometimes about how to, be in a business frame of mind. Just ask for coaching, right? Everyone is here to support you.
Hmm.
You will never find a grid on here that is more committed to people supporting you, and particularly when you're giving of yourself. So I just wanted to say that because I think that's a nuance that is often overlooked. Okay. The other thing I wanted to say, and this is from a tech support place because I do that in real life, Loan has a ticketing system here, and
I
it is
do.
really important. You do, don't pretend you don't make it a secret. But it's really important when we have things happen. He's always developing. We're getting a lot of growth. When something happens that's not working, it's really great to contact him through the ticketing system. Okay? That way there's documentation. He can start to see if it's an individual problem or something he needs to be looking at with the grid. No, it's actually on the website. So if you go, yeah, if you go to the website and go to, help me out here, is it on our consoles, control panels, submit a ticket,
Yeah,
I think?
you
Lynn
can.
will tell you.
So,
I
just a
can't,
little thing about that. You can use the support channel in Discord as well. If you raise a ticket on the website, it only gets seen by me. But if you use the support channel in Discord, that's also good because other people might come back and go, "Here's a good answer for this." Da, da, da. If you have a technical issue that you think that can't be dealt with there, then also go to the um, go to the, go to the ticket thing. It's just two different routes you can use. Whatever you feel like using, you can use it. That's cool. Good. Thank you so much, Zenon. That's brilliant. And I just want to. Okay. There's two hands being raised. Savannah first, and then Indigo. Right. Yeah. There. Unfortunately, being a peacekeeper, Savannah, and everybody else, there are times when things don't quite go to plan because we've never dealt with something before. We don't know how to deal with something. So come and see me. We'll talk about it. But it's very important that um, I don't think it's Max's fault really. It's very important that we work through some of these things because remember that we've had peacekeepers here for a while, but we've never had this many people turning up, and so so we are learning as we go, all of us, me included, about how to deal with certain things. So it's more about I don't want to have a blame culture. I want to have a culture where we go, do you know what? Let's find a way through this. Let's work it out, etc., etc. Good. Okay, thank you, Savannah, for that question. Indigo.
Hi everyone, nice to see so many people at the meeting today. I am Indigo, and if you haven't met me yet, you probably will. I do want to just welcome you all here, and to piggyback off of Zenon, if you haven't done so already, one, make sure you join the group in World for Wolf Territory 6. That's number one. Number two, make sure you join the Discord. So many people are afraid of joining Discord, but we really have no problems and no issues in our Discord. And if you do join the Discord, like Lone Wolf was saying, there's a section where you can jump in and ask for support, and at some point, somebody probably already asked that question. And if you just scroll through for a minute, you might find it, maybe.
Yeah,
But
you will.
there,
You will. We can
there are
always
so
help
many
you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, I had some issues. I'm a peacekeeper. I'm also an admin here, and I also write a newsletter. And I have to apologize to you all because I had some real life issues that I had to take care of. And so the newsletter got behind. I am behind, okay, in writing the newsletter. So I'm working on that today. It should be out shortly. And I just want to say that it, this place, if you're new here, we've been here for 3 years now, And this grid, this place, is a very community-based grid. Community. That's what we're about. And we're about helping each other and sharing with each other. So if that resonates with you, that's a wonderful thing. And if it doesn't resonate with you, just make it, try to squeeze in where you can fit in. And, work with the rest of us. We really are very, very helpful, very kind, very family, community oriented. And so I am just so glad to see so many of you at the meeting.
Thanks, Indigo. Yeah, this is we've always said this is a community grid, and our motto is facilitate, don't dominate. So we're here to support each other, to try and work out what on earth we're doing with this thing, and just to not be some kind of dictatorship where I tell everybody what to do. It's quite the opposite. And also, if you're the sort of person that doesn't do community because you're a real introvert and actually you just want to be on your region, that's also fine. Not everybody wants to be involved. That's fine. Yeah, go on then, Illusions, and then I'll get back to my presentation. I've only got 3 slides to go.
Oh no, you finish yours, now go after.
All right, okay. Yeah, okay. I've only got 3 slides to go. Okay, so assets and inventory are something that has obviously, with OS grids issues and other different grids have had issues, and so I'm going to talk a bit about assets. Assets are all those objects. The chairs you're sitting on are assets. The room we're sitting in is made up of assets, and assets are stored in two ways. So basically what happens is, in the database system, we have an entry for every asset. We have over 10 million assets now on this grid. Okay, so that's 10 million database entries, and the data for the asset, so in other words the graphics, the file, the mesh, and everything like that, yes, screams, yeah, has the database, sorry, we have about 10.5 million assets. That means there's 10 million records in the database, and also, more or less, a bit more, and also a file. Now in that file is stored all the textures and the mesh and all the objects that make up, and the scripts that make up that asset. So if you imagine 10 million files on your home computer, you can imagine that it's going to struggle doing that. So what's happened is that over time assets have become damaged, and people come to this grid and bring assets that are damaged. So we might get the data for the asset and actually no data for the no file to back it up. So then you get this asset missing thing. So we've developed piles of software that scans the inventories and scans all kinds of things and tries to fix missing assets by doing lots of jiggery pokery, and it's been quite successful. It doesn't get everything, but it does get 99.99% of things. So that's something that we've been kind of working on. So sometimes there are database entries and no files, and then you get that error. Grids break because their file system cannot deal with millions and millions of files. Our research showed that the only file system that's really good at this is something called XFS. Now, so we use something called object storage to store our assets. So we have actually 20 million assets. So we've got 10.5 million assets in one data center, and that is replicated into another data center, okay, over masses of servers and masses of drives on what's called an XFS file system, and it's built for handling this sort of stuff. The sort of companies that use this are YouTube, Instagram, big companies that need to store masses of files and millions of files, and that's exactly what we do. So we now have, so we've got all that running. It's running pretty smoothly, and we plus have our own object storage locally, which we've not implemented yet. The server's sitting there empty at the moment, but we need to sync that up with the other 2 asset stores. So basically at any one time we have 2 live asset stores and one that's like running as a backup. What that also means is that if let's say one of the issues is that you start running out of disk space, so what we can do is we just buy more space. We don't actually have to physically take the grid offline, copy all the files over to the new storage and bring it all back up again. We can just it will just stay online. We'll just buy more space. We'll just go, okay, we'll buy more space. So I think our asset store is kind of pretty good. I'm talking to other grids about it and trying to help them deal with this. But basically, if you're running on a file system, not XFS, and trying to store your assets, it's a time bomb. Okay, when you get enough assets, your file system will fail. That's a pretty harsh thing to say, but that's from, in my opinion, okay, which might be wrong, but yeah, okay, I'm going to move on now. I'm passionate about assets because it is so bad. Right, okay, next thing, making money. So we've got a bit of an interesting situation coming now, is that more people are coming from different places, and also they're bringing stuff. So you can rent land out. If you own a region, you can rent land out on that region if you want to. Creating stuff and selling on World of Marketplace, there's not a mega amount of this going on in OpenSim, apart from on things like the Kitely Market, apart from and also on our marketplace, which is a bit different. So the Kitely Market likes to sell you something and then deliver it to you, and you never actually see the thing before you buy it. Whereas we think it's better to actually encourage you to go to the store of the person and buy it in World, because then you get to see all the other stuff they make. So that's, and we don't charge for anything. We don't charge commission on any sales or anything like that. It's all part of it. So, and we're looking to encourage more people to come and sell stuff. Now there is this whole thing about piracy and copybotting at the moment. There's and we do, yeah, Luna, thank you for reminding me about that. There's a merchants channel in Discord. Please come in there and discuss your stuff, promote your stuff in there as well. There is traditionally there are all these assets in the hypergrid. There are also loads of assets on Second Life, and some of the assets from Second Life have made their way over here. Some of them legitimately, where the creator has gone, actually I want to put my stuff in OpenSim as well as Second Life. Some of them where the creator has given permission for someone to put their stuff in OpenSim. Sometimes now, and then it all gets very fluffy and dodgy. So let me give you an example. Let's say someone in Second Life gets a picture frame off of CG Trader. CG Trader is like a mesh website where you can download stuff. And they also get a picture from Pixabay, which is a free site where they give you royalty-free images, and they make a nice picture, and they put it on the Second Life marketplace. Now those components came from where? They came from CG Trader and Pixabay. Let's say someone does exactly the same thing on OpenSim. They go to CG Trader and go, well, that's a nice picture frame. They get that, and they buy some miraculous thing, get the same picture from Pixabay, and make the same thing in OpenSim. And here's the problem. The Second Life guy could go to the OpenSim guy and go, wait, you stole that from me. And they go, no, I didn't. I made it. It's the same thing. It looks like the same thing. So one of the things that we're working through is the whole legality of copying and but it is a horrible whole minefield. It really is. But what we're trying to do is to take a fresh view of encouraging creators from different places to come here, create your stuff, set up your shop and sell your stuff. Because what we found, I think, is that the real quality stuff that is being sold, like Luna Lunaria's place is absolutely incredible. I'm always buying her stuff. That actual quality stuff has just something about it that makes it just really special. And, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is to you is create your stuff. If you want to put it on market, if you want to give stuff away you've created, that's cool. If you want to sell stuff, go ahead, because it'll all help towards your TFE. And that's, you know, that's good. And it's a lot easier to make £20 a month than it is to make 300. So, you know, you're really welcome to do that here. And I want to encourage that sort of stuff to be going on. Okay, that's enough. That's boring. Okay, so now I did say during the week we were going to have something new to announce. You may have noticed a new region has appeared to the left, to the west of this region, called Wolf Business Network. And my younger brother and I are in a company, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. And I've actually bought some of Liam's clothing for my wolf, because there's very few bits of clothing for wolves. Anyway, we are looking to build a networking thing for RL business and in-world business, education, and it's a network that will link people together with a mobile app, okay, an in-world exhibition, and regular talks. So basically, if you've got a business or you've got something in real life or in world, you'll be able to do talks on those businesses and ideas, and kind of here's my business sections. And that is literally all we've got at the moment. We bought the domain name, wolfbusinessnetwork.com. Ian's going to be looking at doing some kind of mobile app, but kind of linking it all together. So remember, what we're trying to do here is to explore what we can do with this platform. And what we're trying to do is to see whether or not it could be a platform for business networking and for networking and finding leads, and whether in world or out of world. So yes, that's as far as we've got with that, but you'll see the regions up, and Jimmy's done some really nice roads around the outside. Thanks, mate. But that's as far as it goes for now. So yeah, we will be doing that. So okay, nearly the last slide, folks. We've nearly made it. So I wanted to talk about Wolf Software Systems. The Grid is owned by a UK limited company, Wolf Software Systems, and we are a software development company. We're a website company, and in fact, we're building a website for Rail right now. Who owns Liverpool on the Grid. We build from tiny weeny websites right up to great big e-commerce things, mobile apps, everything like that, and that all helps support the Grid, and also provides us with a living. So if you need anything like that, give me a shout. We'd really love to look at your project. And now, finally, questions. Not about the money pop-up. We know about the money pop-up. It's the number one thing. People join the Grid, and within a few days they go, every time I go to another region, it says, you're using a different currency. We know. Yep, we do know. And it's really, everyone, all the other grids as well, are going, we need to solve this. So Beck's looking at it from the Firestorm team. We're looking at it from the OpenSim source code team to try and sort out what's going on and fix it, so that we hopefully will no longer have to put up with that message. Anyway, any questions? I'm just going to grab a drink. Fire away.
All right, yeah. So, something popped up during the slides you had there, which it's kind of an issue that I hold a bit close to what I deal with. Now, you mentioned about copy blocking or piracy as an issue. I was going to ask what channels, if any, are available can creators take if they find an item being sold in this grid may have been from Second Life and are being distributed without the original creator's consent before filing for DMCA.
Right. So basically, it's either through a direct message to me, or through a ticket, raise a ticket about it, and we will investigate it. Is basically, but with 10.5 million assets, it could be a bit of a job. It might take a while. We do need.
No, I can understand.
Our preferred way of dealing with it is to actually talk to the creator and go, how can we work with you to bring the stuff into our grid where it gets paid for and where you make some money out of it, and we can have a legitimate copy, is what we'd ideally like to do. That's really what we'd like to do, is to encourage people to come in here. It takes some doing, and they don't always want to, and they're not always aware, and oftentimes the copies that are brought in here are substandard compared to the original as well. So yeah, that's the short answer to that. Yeah, okay, that's good. Right. Dandelion, thank you so much for that. I don't have a question per se, but wanted to take a moment to thank all the peacekeepers. I've barely been here 2 days. They helped me so much. That's cool, because that's what they're supposed to be doing. Thank you. Hang on. Yeah. Stevie, this is exactly the problem. We have loads of places where stuff arrives on this grid, it ends up on some region somewhere, and the sheer size of the grid means we never even see it. it is a huge problem. It really is. Like, how do we identify something that's genuine, that isn't? But we've got things we're working on, including something called a certified. What's it called? I was thinking of it earlier. Like a certified object, where you can actually certify that this is a real thing that was being built here and it's yours. But again, it's all development time. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Luna Luneri. Yeah, stores both in Second Life. So you can have stores in Second Life and OpenSim and on Kitely Market selling the same stuff. Savannah. Savannah, I think you're next. Ah, yeah. Oh, definitely. I've been to see the cavern, and I think, who built it? I've been talking for 2 hours. Caribia built the Caribia. You did an amazing job. So of the Cavern Club in Liverpool, and young Rail has built Liverpool. Basically, you've got the big stadium and everything. Worth going and having a look at that. Good. I'm just trying to read through this. Can't see any other questions. Jimmy sent me a message. Jimmy sent me a thing.
Okay,
Thanks,
so
Jim.
for the-
It's your turn, mate.
so-
Yeah, it's you. It's you, Illusions.
All right, okay. Just a couple of things. The first thing is, I'd like to say a huge thank you to all who's involved in the Wolf Fair. And I think Don would agree as well. You know, I know he's very busy, but we do appreciate everything that's gone into that. Is this the first time, though, it's happened at Wolf Bridge?
So the OpenSim World's Fair, yeah, what happened was they came to see me about a year ago, and they went, well, it was over a year ago. They said, we want to set up this incredible World's Fair, but our current grid is only going to let us rent a server for a month. Can you imagine building that in a month? So we said, do you know what we're going to do? We'll sponsor you a region, and that was a year ago. So they've had a year to build and get it together, and it's been a great success. It really has, really been fantastic. I think they're really pleased. Cool. So do visit it if you have visited it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, as far as, I mean, I constantly check the stats, and the visitors that have come have just been outstanding. It's like, you know, and that's all thanks to you guys. And obviously, I think Rosa, who isn't here, but she's been putting a lot of work into this, and other people who've put a lot of work into it. We've had various different performers, like various different DJs, live acts, actual live and really to just build on top of that, we've obviously got Wolfcast coming up as well, which I'm sure is going to be another huge success.
Yep.
I believe we've got the regions ready already for that, haven't we,
Yeah,
Learn?
we will. What we're going to do is we're going to plan it properly, and then we're going to have another great success. But we may build a bigger region this year than the 4. We've got 2 4x4s, I think, lying around from Winterfest and the other one. So there's lots of decisions got to be made. Wolfpack's opening, fantastic. It does need more space now.
Okay.
Lego.
The other thing is,
Oh, hang on. Sorry, mate. Yeah, you finish first.
the other thing I was going to mention as well is Rail has actually, he's got a degree, I think, if I'm right in saying this, Learn. He's got a degree in
Yeah.
music and arts or something.
Yeah.
And if anybody wants any music, for game music or anything for their region, maybe something like they just want it on their region. I know I've done something for the Lunar area, put on some music on one of our regions, I believe. Then please do come and speak to myself or Rael, and we can organise something like that. So yeah.
Peter, I'm going to answer this in a second. Answer your question in a second. Cool. Thanks, mate. Do you need to remove your stuff? Don't do anything with Wolffest at the moment. We'll decide what we're going to do because we don't know yet. Let's see. Savannah's starting the Wolfpack in April. Is there anything else? Okay. Tay first, and then Lego. If Savannah hasn't got anything else to say. No? Okay. Tay?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, thanks.
This was just an announcement that D1 and myself had set up another part of our region for Horseback Riding. It's on the Desert Canyon where the dealership is. If anyone is interested in riding those horses and also having like a role play Dude Ranch type of venture, please get into my box or D1's box to set that up, and we'll go on from there.
Cool, thank you. Lego, finally.
Alright, I have a comment and a question. I'm going to go with the comment first.
Okay.
Everybody here is, talking about peacekeepers, admin, things like that. I just want to thank the youths. It is you people on the ground, the region owners, the people who come to the events that are the core of what we are. So I just wanted to take a little time. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. So the second thing is a question for you, Wolf.
Oh.
It's you talked about Wolf Software Systems. Can you go through exactly what you can do for people?
Yeah,
and,
sure. Sure.
Just really go through it because you kind of glossed over it. I just want to give you some time to really
Thank
state
you.
what you can do.
Okay, so basically, we could build you a website. We could build you an e-commerce website. We can build a complete computer system. We can build servers for you. We could build a cluster for you. We could build databases for you. We can build mobile apps for you. We can build a website and a mobile app in partnership. Basically anything computery pretty much you can think of we can do. Give you an example. We're working on a job at the moment where a customer had a 13-year-old system and we're taking all the data out of it and building a brand new system for them, which is going to be complete this week. So yeah, we could basically anything computery. And we're passionate about computers and IT, which is kind of useful when you're running a grid. Thanks, Lego. Yeah, I hope that's enough. We don't charge a lot. We do payment plans, so if you can't afford it all at once, we can split it over months. So yeah, lots and lots of things there.
Thank you for everything you do, Wolf.
It's absolutely our pleasure. My pleasure. Our pleasure. Okay, so it's only 48 minutes long, so this month. Okay, right. Any more questions? I have to. Of course you can, Illusions. Yep. Where do we go for building websites? Come and see me. We can host and build your website and your email and everything. And Luna, I do need to get hold of you. Factorcast is still going strong. How many subscribers have you got, Tay? 400. Whoa, that's cool. Well done. Excellent. Okay, I think that's it. I think we're all done. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. It's been amazing. Let's have an amazing month for the next month, and we'll see you all next month and see where we're at. I'm going to stop the recording now, and it'll be available on YouTube shortly.